said there is a cycle that occurs in the what? In the human host. Now, if you still have an idea about hosts, how do we call this human host? Good. So this is host, we called it intermediate what? Intermediate host. And like we say that it is a host in which what? It is a host. It is a host that harbors the what? The young stage of any parasite. And then also we say that the other part of the life cycle occurs where? In the vector, isn't it? And what is our vector here? Very good. So you find that our vector here is the mosquito. But you see, it is a female what? Very good. Anopheles mosquito. Good. The second feature that we noted about the cycle again is that two hosts are what? Are involved, isn't it? We have the what? We have the human host, and then we have the mosquito. The third thing that we also noted was about the what? About the reproduction. And we said as far as parasitology is concerned, the parasites we have can undergo two what? Types of what? The life cycle. It can either be asexual or it can be what? Sexual. Now, with the plasmodium, as we said, there are specific words that we use. If it is asexual, we are to call it what? Sporogony, isn't it? Is it? Schizogony. Then, if it is sexual, sporogony. Then, does this happen in a mosquito or it happens in the human host? Asexual. It always happens in the human host. Good. Then now this one? In the mosquito. Good. Now, from here, I remember we decided to look at the life cycle. Isn't it? Who can remind me the main points that we wrote about the life cycle? Now, having noted the features, these are summaries. The summaries that everyone should know about the life cycle, isn't it? They are there. So the second point we had there was that this cycle happens in the what? Intracellularly. Meaning it can happen inside the liver cells or it can happen in the red blood what? Cells. So in man, it can happen in the liver cells. These cells are called hepatocytes. Or it can also happen in the red what? In the red blood cells. Good. So we said once these are actually are introduced in the blood stream, they move up to where? They reach the liver cells. And then it reminds us the examples of people we had used, isn't it? So we said for P. falciparum, what happens? It is P. falciparum and P. what? Malaria. For them, once they have reached the liver cells, immediately they transform into what? Sure? Once the sporozoites have reached the liver cells, what happens?
They form, they become schizons.
They become what? Schizons. So we said the third bullet was, while in the what? While in the liver cells, sporozoites transform into what? Schizons. No, not so. Now, this will mean that the what? Erythrocytic cycle has begun. Again, pre means before, erythrocytes mean what? Red blood cells. So it means a cycle before the red blood cells. We are there. So while in the liver, now the multiplication that happens in the liver, the cycle that is in the liver is the one called pre-erythrocytic what? Cycle. This is the cycle that is there in the what? In the liver. I want us to note those words, because at times they can ask you, explain the pre-erythrocytic what? Life cycle. We are there? So we say that for P. falciparum and P. Mbale, once they reach the rivers, these liver cells, they transform into what? Schizons. Are we there? They transform into schizons. Now, inside these schizons are what? Inside this, we have the merozoites. Merozoites. It is like you having an orange, which is a schizon, but now the seeds that are inside are what? Are the merozoites. When they keep multiplying, what happens? They burst. Not so. When a schizon bursts, what happens? It releases the merozoites. Merozoites are being what? Released.
Hello, I'm called Mr. Pio Daniel. I work here as the Dean of Students and Deputy Principal. I happen to teach a class of medical lab at the certificate level. Call them year 1, semester 1. And the course unit I'm just from handling with them is called parasitology. Basically, it is the study of parasites. Here we have to teach students about the importance of parasites, especially in relation to human hosts. As we all know that in the medical field, we have had an issue with a lot of the diseases coming from the parasites. And today, the topic that we've been really handling was on the malaria parasite. And the subtopic we've been handling today has been on the life cycle. This cycle, as in a life cycle, is these are a series of stages that an organism goes through to develop. So when you look at the malaria cycle, it's something that happens in a mosquito, and then also there is a part that happens in us. How is this important for the students? In diagnosis, you know, in most cases when you look at medical, it is only the clinical part that you know about the pathology of a disease. But now other courses also like lab, They have been also given a piece of information on the other hand of the clinical part. So it will help them in recognizing the trends of this parasite. And with that, it will equip them with the knowledge needed to really handle any case that comes. In the hospital setting, lab students mainly are found in the labs. Yeah, because the clinician writes the requisition and sends to the lab. But you see, when we are handling them here at school, they do study a wide field of view about every subject that we handle. And in lab, parasitology happens to be one of the pillars of medical lab. So ideally, those are the few things that we had handled today. But in the subsequent lectures, we shall have a practical session where we shall train them how to diagnose them in the lab. Of course, we begin with the clinical part. Every medical person has to know how malaria presents. Even clinically, what are the signs? We hear of words like omsuja, but here we go a little bit deeper to show them some of those signs. And then from there, we shall look at the really diagnostic part, where we shall run a whole series of steps from the receiving of the request forms, how they are to verify the request forms, and then also how they collect these samples. There are now so many methods used in diagnosis.